Hello, and welcome to Starting a Business Simplified, Navigating the Shift, a podcast for those of you looking to transition from a medical career to starting an online business. I will be sharing how to get started, success stories, and more. If you are looking to make the move from medicine to online, but don't know where to start, or have a business, but are looking for business tips and encouragement on your journey, this is the podcast for you. I'm Suzy Wraines, your host, and I look forward to helping you simplify starting a business. Welcome to this episode of Starting a Business Simplified. I'm your host, Suzy Wraines, and today I'm going to talk to you about services. What are the services that you want to provide? When we start our business, we have so many ideas floating around in our head. We really don't know where to go with them. So it's important to take a minute and get all your ideas out on paper so that you can identify what is your passion. What service can you provide that you're going to enjoy 90% of the time? Now, we're not going to enjoy things 100% of the time. That's not always possible. But we can enjoy things 90% of the time. I can honestly say that in my business, I enjoy working 90% of the time. There are tasks that I don't like, and there are things that aren't fun. But for the most part, I love what I do. I love bringing clarity and understanding and simplifying starting a business for those who need it. I love helping people. I wake up in the morning excited to do my job, and it doesn't faze me to work several hours more than I should, and it's not good to do that, and I don't recommend it. But when you know you love something, you just do it all the time. I actually schedule for myself time off and have boundaries around that. It's important to do that. But you should love what you do. So how do you identify that? Well, there is an exercise that you can do in order to identify what service you enjoy. With this exercise, you're going to write down all of the ideas that you have about a service that you want to provide. List as many as you can. Just let it flow. Don't edit yourself or make any changes. Just write. When you're done, you're going to identify the top 3. And you're going to start with number 3, and you're going to do a visualization exercise. Close your eyes in a quiet place where you can really imagine doing this service, providing it for clients, and all the things that go with it. Talking about it, sharing it on social media, doing the service multiple times a week. This is going to be your life, these things that you're doing. What kind of feelings come up for you? Are you feeling excited? Are you feeling anxious? Are you feeling not comfortable? That's something that can happen. When you're visualizing, you really want to see how it sits with you. So this number 3 service, if it's not getting you excited and you can picture yourself doing it day in and day out without it being a challenge and without having those days where you don't want to get out of bed and you just put the covers over your head and you're like, no, I don't want to do this business anymore. It's way too hard. That might not be the service that you want to pick. You're going to repeat this exercise with number 2. And if this one gives you a comfort level where, yeah, I could do this. I could do it for most of the time and I'd be okay. There might be days when I'm not too excited about it. And there might be times where I kind of don't want to get out of bed, but I can go ahead and do it. And there are parts of it that I really enjoy that I can push through those difficult days. That's your number 2. Keep that on the list and put a star by it or a check mark, whatever it is that works for you. And then you're going to do that with your number 1. And your number 1 should be that you are envisioning absolutely loving what you're doing. waking up every day excited to go to work, waking up every day wanting to provide this service for people, talking about it all the time, not being nervous or uncomfortable that you provide this service. It's something that you absolutely love and you know that people want it and need it. That's going to be your number one service. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be easy, and there are going to be challenges, and you are going to have days where you don't feel good and you don't want to get out of bed and you're frustrated because that's business ownership, period. That's just how it is. We go up and down. And if anybody's listened to the roller coaster of emotions episode that I did, we have ups and downs, but the overall common thread should be that you love what you do at the core. So for example, I love what I do. I work with women who are leaving the medical field to start their own business. And I love doing that. That's part of my story. That's part of what I've come through. So I love giving them the opportunity to be successful and do something that they love while continuing to have compassion and care and serve people. And that gets me out of bed. That gets me through my bookkeeping exercises. That gets me through the days when I don't want to do marketing. So it's important that you find a service that you have a passion about and that you know that you could do it every single day. With that in mind, you want to remember that even though you've identified what the service is that you want to provide, you have to clarify with the market that there is a need. That's for another episode. I will be doing a future episode on how to identify if the service that you want to provide is going to have a need in the market, that people are going to pay you for it and that they want that service. If for some reason it isn't, then you just have to tweak it. It may be that's just how there might be something about it that you can change. It's still the core of what you do, but it has more of a demand for it. And that's something I'll talk about in future episodes. But for now, doing this exercise, you should be able to identify what service it is that you want to do. And that's the first step. And then we can move on from there. So hopefully this episode was helpful for you. I recommend that you take a minute and do this exercise. Find a time when you're quiet, no distractions, and you can really take a minute and think about these things and get them written down so that you can refer back to them. And I also recommend that you listen to the episode where I talk about the ups and downs and the roller coaster of emotions, because that will help you, and also your why. The episode that talks about your why, that one will help clarify, once you know what your service is, that you're in the right place. So until next time, as always, keep it simple. Thanks for listening to this episode of Starting a Business Simplified, Navigating the Shift. If you enjoyed this episode, then hit the subscribe or follow button on your favorite podcasting platform so you'll never miss an episode. This podcast is for you, so be sure to reach out and let me know what you thought about this episode. You can join our Facebook community, Women Medical Professionals Starting an Online Business, where we share resources and information as a community. Click on the link in the show notes to join.